It is the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. We're here every single day from 5 to 6 talking about the local issues that matter to you most and taking your phone calls at 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222, your emails at randykabc@gmail.com, and search for the KABC News Blitz wherever you get your podcasts. We're still living 5 years later in the after effects of the defund the police movement.
Because we are the defund the police people, right?
Oh, whether it was the LA City Council defunding the police in 2020, the LA County Sheriff's Department getting defunded with Measure J, we have seen how this has had a difficult effect on not just public safety, but also police hiring, and we're still trying to make up for that today. But it wasn't just LAPD that got defunded, and it wasn't just the LA County Sheriff's Department that got defunded. There was also a defunding at LAUSD, thanks to who? You know who? Cecily Myart Cruz.
And I want you to be all the way pissed off.
Because when everyone was taken to the streets in the summer of love saying defund the police, it was Cecily Myart Cruz that was holding kids hostage, saying that they're not going back into class unless we defund the LAUSD Police Department.
Our learning spaces are special places.
They sure are. That was one of her main demands, outside of course, the obvious demand of we need us some more monies. That's the main demand. That's the big demand.
We demand higher pay.
Oh, we know. Well, here we are 5 years later, and it's time to check in how LAUSD is doing with a crippled policing system where there is no longer a resource officer at every school. What happens? Because someone has to do security at the schools. Well, it turns out, and we've seen this in so many other departments, the whole concept of defund the police isn't so much cut that budget. It's take that budget and give it to my friends over here. Whether it's defunding the LAPD so we can fund things like the Circle teams and ambassadors and urban alchemy. It's more, hey, I have people who are not qualified to be police officers who would like some of that police budget money, and we can do the security. Well, there's a program like that going on at LAUSD, and it has led to an LAUSD parent getting punched in the face in the parking lot by a so-called security guard. This is a story that KCAL ran last week, but it flew under the radar because obviously everyone was talking about the riots. But I bring it to you now, in full. This is a wild ride. Are you ready, Cecily?
Hell no!
We're going anyway. Here is KCAL.
A mother claims she was punched in the face by a person LAUSD had on campus to protect kids and parents.
Wow. Oh, boy.
And this person has a questionable past that some school police say is alarming. Senior reporter Ross Palumbo is here. He has the story that you'd only see on KCAL News.
Well, Pat and Rudabeh, our investigation has found that this worker has a criminal past and even got some jail time. But even...
Wait a second. So we defunded the LAUSD police. We cut the amount of officers. We took some of those contracts and we gave them to outside security companies that hired people with criminal records to protect the kids.
That is fantastic.
It's like the Karen Bass budget, where she presented her budget ideas before she presented them to the city council. She presented them to BLM Los Angeles, and she wanted to make sure that they were aware that the trusted gang crisis intervention workers, which are ex-cons, were getting a raise. Because Karen Bass believed that at $40,000 a year, they would most likely just go back to their life of crime. But for $60,000 a year, well, they'll stick around and do the hard work.
Well, Pat and Rudabeh, our investigation has found that this worker has a criminal past and even got some jail time. But even so, we also found that she was still working on a campus until she allegedly punched a mother in the face twice right in front of her children.
Twice?
LAUSD refuses to talk about it, but now that mother is speaking out.
I came to your car.
You know they saved this for sweeps.
I came to your car. Yes, you did.
A surprise strike.
Dude, stop.
Startling a parent.
Painful to watch. Yes, you did.
Stunning officers.
Huge. I think that's a crime.
What is wrong with you?
Shocking this boss.
Right there is grounds for termination.
And once again, shaking up the debate.
So you continue to pretend that nothing is happening there.
Over police defunding and LAUSD's school safety.
And it's really hard.
It's amazing how much destruction one slogan has had in the last 5 years, because it wasn't the most well thought out policy. And I would argue, maybe you would argue differently, I don't think it's a very honest policy. There are some people who may truly believe in an abolitionist society where we should not have police, we should not have a carceral system, and that's a special way of thinking. But what I see more often than not is that the people who are tied to these movements, the defunding of the police, the Ulysses Hernandezes, the idea is not so much to just cut that budget because they were bad. It's to take that budget from them and spend it on my nonprofits that I'm affiliated with over here, because these are the people that I would like to pay to keep you safe. It's a massive transfer of wealth from a pretty common sense need in every single city budget, in every single county budget, to a whole bunch of things that have not been proven to work. Like, I don't know, how about Karen Bass's gang reduction intervention program that was paying a nonprofit to start a youth football league for the kids so they wouldn't get into the gangs, and it just happened to be a front for an actual criminal gang.
And it's really hard. I just want justice. Never had issues.
The injustice.
Until that Monday.
She says began in March when she went to pick up her 11-year-old son after hours at a magnet school bus stop just outside of Manual Arts High School. With him in the back and with her other 2-year-old sitting right next to him, she tries to pull out, but this black SUV then backs up, caught here on the school's own surveillance system.
So she's trying to get out of a parking lot, trying to get out of a driveway. There's a black SUV in front of her that is stopped in the driveway and is now backing up into her.
On the school's own surveillance system, trying, she says, to block her in.
Kind of knew like, oh, she's going to do something, so I'm recording. And she is here.
It's everyone's first instinct in 2025. And it's been this way for a while, but it's only getting more prevalent. Anytime anything out of the ordinary goes on, your first response is open up that phone, hit that camera button, swipe to video, hit record. If you've got those fancy meta glasses, you just tap the button and you're recording.
Is here. Blocking.
After blocking, she says the driver then barrels straight towards her window.
Yes? You want to keep recording me? Why did you back up your car? Because you're recording because me. You are about to hit me.
We have a real chicken or the egg situation here. I'm stepping up to you and I backed up my car because you were recording me. No, I'm recording you because you backed up your car and you're stepping up to me. Oh my goodness. But what is this? A dispute between parents?
Because you are about to hit me.
Did I come to you? Did I come to your car and talk to you?
You did talk to me.
That was days ago.
No, I have you on camera. I already told you.
That was days ago.
I feel like there's more to this story than we know here. Really need the backstory.
No, I have you on camera. I already told you.
That was days ago. Did I come to your car today?
Yes, you did.
I did?
He had to back you up and then...
I came to your car?
Yes, you did.
Oh. I think that's the punch.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Dude, stop. What is wrong with you?
And here's the view from the silent surveillance video when we match it to the audio from the mother's cell phone.
Yes, you did.
This is one of those stories where it's almost like the local news is trying to produce this thing like they would a reality show. Let's get all the drama from all the angles because we got ourselves a fight.
Yeah.
Dude, stop! She punched me and scratched my face. I'm just in disbelief that someone that works at school.
Wait, so this was a school employee. This wasn't some situation of, well, there's no police there, so the parents get into fights in the parking lot. No, this was someone who worked at the school that punched this mother in the face and then scratched her.
With children, is capable of doing that. Dude, stop!
And for parent...
I feel like they're going to play that "Dude, stop" at least 1,000 more times. Because this is a long piece, and it's a beautiful piece.
Dude, stop!
And for parent Elizabeth Funes Lara, aside from her slight bruising and scratch, the school, her children, and their safety.
How about that? You get the kids in the background, in the back seat, and you get punched in the face while you're trying to take them out of school. That's rough. I smell me a lawsuit.
Are her primary issues.
So he's in the back seat.
He's in the back seat, and he's just very scared. He's just shocked. All that screaming, for him, it was traumatizing. I try not to cry because I don't want to scare them.
Traumatizing is a good word to use. Remember that one in court.
But I don't think they should be witnessing someone hitting their mom. Dude, stop! What is...
I told you they'd use it again. You can't help it. That's actually how we got onto one of our favorite crime blotter pieces of sound, which is the two ladies in Reseda.
I know.
Because the first time you hear that, you might not even think about it. But when KTLA was doing that report of the man who got his Rolex stolen at the Vons at Tampa and Victory, a Vons that I have referred to for many years as Vons, because every time I went there, they never had anything, and I've witnessed a lot of shoplifting there. But when KTLA did that story, and they had the video of the two ladies from Reseda filming the man getting his Rolex stolen in that parking lot,
I know.
they played that over and over and over again. And then I got stuck in my head, and, well, now it's a character on the station.
Dude, stop! What is wrong with you?
What do you think?
That's horrible. Just imagine that that's your wife.
School Police Union President Gil Gamez says his officers used to patrol that school.
If that was one of your officers, do you think that ever would have happened?
One of our officers would have been in prison for doing that.
But since...
Yeah, police, even school police, are held to a much higher standard when it comes to assaulting somebody.
One of our officers would have been in prison for doing that.
But since the board defunded the department...
I'm not supportive of.
Cecily, it's time for your part of the story.
Everyone is having all of the feels.
This is one of Cecily Myart Cruz's demands in reopening the schools, and another demand when it came to her union contract in 2022. Defund the police and fund us instead. We want that money. We need that money. We deserve that money.
Get that money!
Exactly.
Board defunded the department.
I'm not supportive of the ability of schools to be able to opt in to have a police presence on campus.
Cutting its budget nearly 20% and its officers by 33%.
Oh, boy. And there's a whole other grift with all this, too, because there are so many different nonprofits that are tied together with UTLA that are the ones pulling for this stuff, whether it's Reclaim Our Schools LA. Every time they're having a presser, UTLA is like sharing it all over social media. And they're the ones that say we need to defund the school police. We have to fund all these other things, too. And then, as UTLA does, 2 years later, we still need to fund all those things because they're still not funding us, but we still need more money.
And I want you to be all the way pissed off.
They push police off campuses while putting more of these private community groups on campuses.
And there's the rub. It's not that these groups, whether it's UTLA and all the nonprofits they're connected to, wanted nobody patrolling the campuses. It's that they wanted that money directed towards their friends, their community groups, and their people that can provide security much more effectively than a sworn police officer. Look, we got a lot of sound to get through here, but I'd love to hear your opinion on this at 800-222-KABC. 1-800-222-5222. Whether it was the defund the police movement in 2020, Measure J in 2022, defunding the LAUSD PD, Metro ambassadors, are all of these programs just a grift? Is the whole concept of defund the police just a grift to transfer money to their nonprofits that they want to run security? Does it matter if it's in the city or the county or the schools? The story seems to be the same all over the place. Take money out of sworn officers, shame the sworn officers, and transfer that money to people who are unqualified. 800-222-KABC is the phone number. 1-800-222-5222. Do you think these defund the police movements were just a giant grift in the state of California? 800-222-KABC. 1-800-222-5222. We'll get to your calls and we'll get to the rest of this wonderful piece from KCAL. The LAUSD security employee that punches a mother twice in the face. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. We're taking your phone calls at 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222, as we go through the story of an LAUSD mom that was punched in the face twice by an LAUSD contracted security employee. These were the people that were hired after LAUSD defunded the police. Instead of using sworn officers, they used community organizations to find people in the community to watch your kids. My question is all of this just a giant grift to transfer money from a department that has a lot of funding to a whole bunch of unproven nonprofits? 800-222-KABC is the phone number. 1-800-222-5222. Hey, look at this. Big news in downtown LA. Karen Bass has reduced the downtown curfew hours to 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. So you be good from 8 to 10, because we don't want this curfew to keep on going. We want everyone to calm down. There was a last week thing. This is supposed to be a short week for people, a vacation week, a holiday week. Let's not get all crazy. Look at this, too. I got something for you. A little thank you from us to you for listening to KABC. 790 KABC welcomes Britt Floyd and Alan Parsons to the Greek Theater on July 11th. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. But right now, caller number 9 at 1-888-790-5222 gets a pair of tickets to the show. Tickets furnished by Live Nation. Good luck dialing. If you've ever missed an episode of this show, you probably were not in the car at 5 o'clock one day last week. You got to check out our podcast. Search for the KABC News Blitz wherever you get your podcasts, whether it's the Apple Podcasts app, iHeart, Spotify. Search for the KABC News Blitz. Hit subscribe. You could also do a Google on the YouTube. They all show up there. And you can see all of our coverage of the riots last week, or all the things that we cover that you don't usually hear other places, like me bitching about fireworks for an hour, SoFi Stadium getting asked by LA County if they're interested in hosting a safe and legal street takeover. Why are 80% of LA County probation employees not showing up at Los Padrinos Juvenile Hall? And so many other important local issues that we cover every single day. Like them, share them with your friends. Tell everyone you know that, hey, you got to check out this show at 5 o'clock. You can even call in, be a part of it. All righty. 800-222-KABC is the phone number. 1-800-222-5222. We're going to get back to this piece about LAUSD, who defunded the police years ago, decided to take that money that they saved and hire people from the community and community-based organizations to protect the kids. And now one of those employees has punched an LAUSD and the parent in the face twice. Oh, boy. Is all of this defund the police nonsense just a giant grift? 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. It is the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. We're here every single day from 5 to 6 talking about the local issues that matter to you most and taking your phone calls at 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Your emails as well at randykabc@gmail.com. Give me a follow on the social medias at Randy Wang Radio and search for the KABC News Blitz wherever you get your podcasts. We're going through a story that's coming out of LAUSD. Back in March, an LAUSD parent was picking up her kids from school, and as she was trying to pull out of the parking lot, she was blocked by a black SUV. As black SUV was starting to back up into her, so she pulls out her phone. The woman driving the other car comes out, starts screaming at her, and then punches her twice in the face. And it turns out that she is an employee of LAUSD. She is a security employee of LAUSD, hired after LAUSD was forced to defund the LAUSD school police because it was a demand from Cecily Myart Cruz.
That is fantastic.
Now that you're caught up, let's see what happened.
They push police off campuses while putting more of these private community groups on campuses with a program called Safe Passage.
It's another term that I just don't trust anymore. When any politician or union boss says community-based organizations, that tells me that they have friends that would like to start getting a lot of government funding. It's something that I really want to look at. How many nonprofits that operate in the city of Los Angeles actually, that have all these government contracts, how many of them actually collect donations? How many of them are actually, what you think of a nonprofit funded by philanthropists, when these are really just government contractors that don't have to pay taxes?
So they
and not really have a whole lot of accountability.
So they show up and they're doing security.
Yes.
For these schools now.
Yes.
In place of police.
Yes.
Is that safe for kids? Is it safe for parents?
They moved the police officers out of the way. They moved everybody out of the way, and they gave these security guard companies full access to the student on and off campus without any training, without any mentorship, for sure, without a police officer next to them. And
we put unqualified people in front of your kids. This sounds as LA as it gets, and it sounds as LAUSD as it gets.
And they don't know how to handle things. And some of these individuals are formerly incarcerated individuals. One individual.
This is another thing. We seem to want to take so many security jobs that are meant for sworn police officers that have very, very, very strict standards, including, upholding the law. And we've decided that in an effort to defund, in an effort to reimagine public safety, as it was called on the LA Metro, we keep hiring different sets of ambassadors or community intervention workers or contracted security guards that don't have the same standards. And it almost feels like almost all of these programs, whether it's Urban Alchemy or the Metro Ambassadors, are ex-con jobs programs. And look, I got nothing against a reform convict. I think the way that we just kind of put people in prison, and while they can learn the skills to change their life, we should really be encouraging that and leaning into that. But you should be, when you get out of prison, have some kind of way to change your life, have some kind of way to be employable. And if we haven't done that, that's an indictment on us. But the answer to that is not, well, let's give them jobs that they're definitely not qualified for, that they have no responsibility for. Because you look at any ambassadors, especially Urban Alchemy, that operate in places like Culver City and they operate in places like San Francisco, and they get paid to walk up and down the streets of some very bad neighborhoods, and they pass out cigarettes, and that counts as a positive contact.
Are formerly incarcerated individuals. One individual came to a board meeting.
That's this man who was working with high school kids.
I am also a formerly incarcerated man of 21 years of a 30-to-life sentence.
Is that who we want working with the kids for security? I don't know. I feel like parents would want to know about that.
And like this woman who confronted the parent.
I came to your car?
Yes, you did.
That court records show also got jail time for violating her probation after a forgery conviction back in 2018.
Okay, so first she did the forgery, then she got on probation, then she did something to violate her probation, and this is somebody that LAUSD wants working with your children. Thanks to, of course, Cecily Myart Cruz.
Let's go!
Never forget that this was one of the 5 demands. No, I think there were 8 demands, if my memory serves me correctly, because we pulled the presser. Cecily Myart Cruz had a Zoom press conference when all the kids were locked away at home. She had a list of 8 demands before she would come back to school, before she would allow the government to bring your kids back to in-person education. And one of those demands was defund the school police, which has nothing to do with COVID.
Is that in itself disqualifying?
I don't see how LA Unified would even hire her, and she should not be in a coveted position like a security personnel around a child's school with a record like that.
Do you think LAPD would ever hire someone with a criminal history?
No.
Do you think LASD would ever hire anyone?
Maybe that's the thing. Maybe the LAUSD, PD, LAPD, LA Sheriff's Department, maybe our standards are just too high for police officers. And I don't think that's it.
LASD would ever hire anyone with a criminal history? Would LAUSD police ever hire someone with a criminal history? But yet you say the school employs.
So, again, look at this from just the most common sense lens of you want kids that go to LAUSD to be safe. The school decided that it was not safe to have sworn police officers there, ones that are specifically trained to work in schools. So they defunded that department and they moved the funding over to community-based organizations that took those dollars and hired ex-cons to work at the schools. Am I missing something here? 800-222-KABC is the phone number. 1-800-222-5222. Let's go to Bill in La Cañada. Bill, hello.
Speaking of nonprofit scam artists, you won't believe this, Randy. I'm calling from a wild party on a massive yacht owned by the CEO of Homeless Chemical Solutions Incorporated. Oh, here he comes. How's you doing? Welcome to the SS Narcan. Hey, there's my old buddy, George Gascon. Hola, Dr. Luigi. Nice boat. You must be doing muy bien. Better than me. I lost my job, but gracias for your help. Luigi, how'd you go from jailbirds for George to millionaire CEO of a homeless nonprofit? Because I'm Luigi, the doctor with a squeegee to wipe away homelessness with a little help from my friends here, like Karen. If you're down or feeling blue, we got the meth pipes, smack jabs, and Narcan just for you. Come here, Karen. You're such a sweetheart. But Luigi, what qualifies you to get millions of tax dollars from the mayor's buddies for meth pipes and heroin needles that could injure kids in the park and harm the homeless? Look, I got the same medical training as Dr. Babs Ferrer and Dr. Felicia Adams Killam. 0. And my social work diploma says the same thing. Doctor, D-O-K-T-A-R. But don't doctors who give illegal drug paraphernalia to patients and end up in prison for fraud, racketeering, and narco-conspiracy? So why ain't Dr. Babs and Dr. Felicia in jail? Hey, you're asking too many questions, pal. I think it's time to feed them sharks down there. Ain't that right, Isabel? It's like TikTok in the movies. Give me a hand with this guy, Hugo. Hey, clap that up. Gotta go, Randy.
Let us know when the one-man show is, Bill. That was great. 800-222-KABC is the phone number. 1-800-222-5222. To recap, LAUSD was forced to defund the police thanks to Cecily Myart Cruz. They decided to lay off a whole bunch of school police, cut that budget, cut the staff in half, and use that money to hire security guards from community-based organizations that some of them are ex-cons. This make any sense to you? 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. If you're on hold, stay on hold. More of your calls coming up next. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. Let's go to the phones and start with Ray in Manhattan Beach. Ray, hello.
Well, sometimes the teachers don't want police there because they're the criminal. How many times have... Right?
Well, we have seen a lot of situations.
Yeah. So there could be some of that going on.
I think that's definitely possible for a few isolated cases for sure. But I would think the majority of teachers, especially the ones that teach at LAUSD schools in bad neighborhoods, they'd want to be protected by the police. But for some reason, union leadership saw this as a way to take more money out of the system and put it right into them.
Absolutely. They're all about the money. And they want the money. They want the control. And between police, fire, and teacher, they raise $1 billion a year in union dues, which goes 100% to political influence in California.
That's something we definitely got to change on all levels. Public employee unions influencing elections is something that's gone on far too long.
They're influencing their bosses.
Totally. And they have a direct conflict of interest, and I think that's a problem. Thanks so much for the call. Appreciate it. I don't like big corporations getting involved in politics. I don't like Elon spending $200 billion on an election, and I really don't like the public employee unions. We got to simplify all of that, but that's another conversation for another day. Let's get back to LAUSD. Eris in La Habra. Eris, hello.
Hey, Randy, how's it going?
Doing great.
Hey, I could just say that all of this is communist playbook at its best, and that woman should actually sue Cruz, the teachers union, and the school district. She'll be filthy rich.
I think she totally should. As much as we don't want to encourage more litigation that we have to pay for as taxpayers, she's in the right here. She got assaulted thanks to the actions of Cecily Meyer Cruz. You're totally right about that, Eris. Thanks so much for the call. Appreciate it. 800-222-KABC is the phone number. Cecily, do you have any advice to this parent?
Get that money!
Damn right. 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. More of your calls, and we'll finish up this incredible piece on KCAL of the LAUSD security employee that's an ex-con that replaced LAUSD police officers that assaulted a parent. 800-222-KABC. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. Let's get back to the saga of the LAUSD parent punched by an LAUSD security employee that they hired after they defunded the school police. Oh, and did I mention she's an ex-con?
But yet you say the school employs people with criminal histories as subcontractors.
But it's ethically wrong.
Wrong and ineffective, he says, when it comes to fighting campus crime. This school year, we've seen incidents involving guns on campuses, fights and stabbings. But LAUSD's data shows overall violent crimes were down compared to last year.
Yeah. We're at a point where in the state of California, anyone who uses the term data,
you can come up with data to support almost any argument.
I just inherently am not believing what you're saying.
But the number of rapes and aggravated assaults on campus were up.
You mean the crimes that you can't just slip under the rug? Violent crime is down, but rape is up. Sure.
Is it really safe passage?
Not at all.
What else are they grouping into the violent crime statistics to say that it's down?
Is it really safe passage?
Not at all.
Oh, the organization that they hired is called Safe Passage. You know, the woman that beat up the parent.
Is that a fair criticism?
The district now pays Keith Linton more than $500,000 a year, he says, for his 60 employees servicing about 25,000 kids at 20 schools.
You want this part to be down here.
All using his on-campus community program that we've highlighted in the past called Boys to Gentlemen.
My employees, they provide safe passage.
And in fact, this was his employee caught here on camera.
You've seen this? This was the person contracted by LAUSD to keep the kids safe, and she's an ex-con.
You've seen this video?
I've seen the video, and I've seen the video also at the school.
So what was her excuse to you? What did she say?
She said that she didn't punch the parent.
It's on tape!
And I didn't believe that.
How could something like that happen?
Something like that shouldn't happen.
What's the vetting process for this community-based organization, I wonder?
What should happen now?
What should happen now is what we did. That employee was terminated, the employee will never have a chance with LAUSD. And what we've done is we've revved up our training.
As a former LAPD officer, he says he does train all of his employees and does background checks, but nothing, he says, came back.
So this entrepreneurial former LAPD staffer decided that, hey, I'm going to start a nonprofit since that's where all the money is.
Came back on this woman. Now she's facing battery charges with a warrant out for her arrest after missing this first court date.
She's on the run.
Bail $20,000.
There should be no employee on any campus that works for me that does what that employee did.
But there was.
And there was.
And how do you know that there isn't another situation like that brewing?
Uh-oh, he's taking a while.
I can't tell you today that out of my north of 60 employees, that tomorrow...
if you want to get into the line of work of public safety, you probably, and definitely before we demoralize the departments, but you probably want to be a police officer. I mean, it's an honorable job and it has a good salary and a good pension and good benefits, and you're a part of your community. These subcontracted security community-based organizations, the only people that are really hiring for that are the unqualified, the people that are not qualified to be in public safety. But that's what we've been directing money to over and over and over again. And when it come back to LAUSD, just never forget that this was all by design, and this was a demand from Cecily My Art Cruz.
Get that money!
Thank you all so much for listening to the show. We're here live today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, and then you hear some best ofs for the holiday. It's a short week, everyone. Enjoy yourselves. I'll see you tomorrow for another News Blitz at 5 right here on KABC.